You're watching Talking Points, a focus on the political scene in Lubbock and across the South Plains.
Welcome back. Here's a look at some of the political headlines you may have missed with the election and coronavirus talk out there. The man nominated by the president to be the next Air Force Chief of Staff is a Texas Tech alum. Four-star General Charles Q. Brown would also be the first African-American to hold that job if he's confirmed by the Senate. The former F-16 fighter pilot has been the chief of the Pacific Air Forces since 2018. Levelland native and retired Navy Rear Admiral Dr. Ronnie Jackson is qualified for a runoff election to be the next congressman in the Texas 13th District in the Panhandle. Finished second in a crowded primary race to agriculture advocate Josh Weingartner, despite the endorsement of the president. The runoff election is May 26th. And we've heard now from retiring Texas House Speaker Dennis Bonnen for the first time since that infamous recorded meeting with Empowered Texans boss Michael Quinn Sullivan. And he talked to our friend Chad Hasty over on his radio show on KFYO. Bonnen saying he screwed up badly, did a horrible job in that meeting, and he was sorry for that. Said he owed the biggest apology to Lubbock Representative Dustin Burrows because Bonnen says he dragged Burrows into that meeting to be a witness. There's more. We'll talk to Chad Hasty about that interview. He's scheduled to join us next week here on Talking Points. Well, there was a chance that another local election might not have been officially over when the county and state declared the election official. A process called canvassing, by the way. Talking about Lubbock County Commissioner in Precinct 1. We talked about the mail-in and provisional ballots being counted, and political newcomer Terrence Kovar still keeping that margin that would avoid a runoff with former Lubbock City Manager Leanne Dumbald. Now, she could have officially asked for a recount there, but decided against all that. Mr. Kovar is the new commissioner for Precinct 1. And Mr. Kovar joins us right now for 5 good minutes. Always good to see you, my friend.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me on again.
Well, less than a handful of votes here gets you that win without that runoff. First of all, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about every vote counting here.
Every vote counts.
Tell me first about election night, knowing that it was close and you were trying to avoid that runoff. What was that like for you?
That was very exciting. I don't know if you've seen the interview with me on there. I think my face was solid red that night. I think I had a little vein popping out.
Sure.
It was all from excitement. It was just overwhelming.
Well, and probably some relief, too, that, hey, you know, this kind of worked out.
It was. And coming down, I was at 52%. And then that was early voting, 52%. And then it came down after that. All the votes were tallied up. I was down to 50% plus 2. And it was just, what do you do now?
Right,
I mean,
right. You just wait and hope. And then you had to wait sort of afterwards here because all the provisionals and all of that had to be counted.
And that was on Monday.
Take us through that process. How much were you a part of it? Were you there? How does that work?
I wasn't there. I actually appointed someone to be in my place. I had a funeral that day. We had a coworker pass away.
Okay.
So, but out to Rex Smith's family, that's the funeral we had. But anyways, so I appointed someone, they went up, and they really don't get to do much. They get to sit in the back corner and maybe take some notes, but they don't know any results.
Right.
They're just there listening.
Just to watch the process take place.
Yes.
Interesting. Did you think that there was a shot that the provisionals and the out-of-town votes and all that might change things at all?
Yes. I mean, yeah, I really thought it would bring it back down, but it didn't. I believe she got 8 votes, and I got 9 out of that.
Right.
So that's even better.
What an amazing process, though, and again, probably a relief for you just to know that now I can move forward and I know what the direction is going to be for the next few months.
That allows me to have time to start going down and getting with everyone in the court system, or you know, the county court system. Right.
So that's part of what you're going to be doing now to get ready for this, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, so on my days off, I'll be going down and basically training. With county judge, the other commissioners, and all the other department heads.
So what kind of things are you looking to do, and what kind of things are you looking to ask of those people? What's that going to be like, do you expect, at least over the next few months?
Really, it's just we're gonna start off with just the process. You know, from day one, where are we gonna move on from? There's so many questions to ask. I mean, it's new to me. It's new to anyone that moves into an office like this.
Oh, sure. And you know, and what are the limitations of things you can do? What other things are you looking for? I imagine everyone is probably called by this point and said, hey, you know, what about this? What about this? And you probably heard from people on the campaign trail as well. What kind of priorities are you going to have moving in there as far as finding out what you can do for some of the people who've had questions of you?
Well, and I'll just take those questions to the current commissioners also, because I'm not a voting member of the Commissioners Court at this time.
Right.
And sit down with them gentlemen, and let's see what we can do. I'm going to take the advice of all the commissioners and the judge of the Commissioners Court.
Sure. Are you thinking now about priorities, some projects specifically that you want to work on once you are one of the voting commissioners?
I am. There's a major one, is trying to keep employees. They are losing employees due to pay and due to health insurance benefits, which that was changed about 5 years ago, I believe it was. And so you're not being able to maintain your employees. You get them trained up, and then they move on to other cities, other counties. And so we need to do a little bit more with that. Everything that you have a priority that you want to fix and do costs money.
Oh, sure.
And so before you can say, I am going to do this, where's the money going to come from?
Exactly.
Anybody that makes a promise that they're going to lower taxes and they're going to fix all the roads, they're kind of not telling the truth there, because we got to have the money to do it all, no matter what it is in the county.
Does the state have any training programs when it comes to a new county official as well?
They do. After elected, I'll go to Austin and do training down there. And you actually have to do this training annually.
Just to keep up on new laws?
Yes.
That kind of thing?
To keep you up with all the new laws.
My goodness.
Because the state mandates the counties to do certain items.
What do you anticipate, I guess, being the hardest thing that you'll have to learn about this new job?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
You don't know what you don't know at this
Let me
point.
get in there, and about 2 months later, I'll come and see you again.
All right. So we're booking you right now for 2 months afterwards.
All right.
Okay, congratulations.
I do appreciate it.
And you know, a lot of folks are counting on you now. So we'll see see if they still like you here in 2 months once they get back in there.
I will say this is the longest job interview I've ever had. So I'm glad it worked out this time.
You've got it now, so now you got to do something with it. Yes. But we think you will. Terrence Kovar, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. I do appreciate you having me on.